we have a meeting.
We have to redo all our plans.
Pardon?
It'd probably take another 2 months to redo all the plans.
No, not redo them, I mean, just a little bit more input, maybe next meeting, hear everybody's input and go from there. I'm not saying we do the plans, but at least everybody's.
Would we need to consider putting up some sort of netting to protect the golf shed? I mean, we don't need to be pelting it with golf balls.
Your house get once in a while down.
It does.
Well, part of that's intentional, it's,
The way those berms are, if you hit beyond the bunker, it kicks the ball down there too, and it rolls down there as opposed to hitting it on the fly. It'd be a monster to get it down there on the fly, but well, if that's the ideal location, I think you may be onto it, Mike, that there may be some protective thing that could be done.
What about approving this and then reviewing, like you said, the bathroom, the concession stand, a later date? How about that?
I think that was something for next year. We're kind of planning on doing something next year. We're trying to get this ball field done and the stadium is well into the
Jerry said if we approve this and then we can have you on the bathrooms and the concession stand. I think we could entertain that, couldn't we?
Yeah, I think a couple of heavy poles, like what Mike installed for the flags at the senior field, with some stretched fabric in between, which is like what's on the north side of the driving range. That way, you know, Kelly and Jason don't have to walk outside with a helmet.
This is steel siding or steel building?
It's steel siding, yeah. All the exits are all on the east side of the building.
Okay, this and work on the concessions, okay this and then okay the next. Shall I make a motion to authorize advertising of a new park golf maintenance building as Jerry Simon stated with the blueprints show.
Motion on the table. Second?
okay.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Do we know what it would cost to put some sort of netting there to protect it?
I'm sure it's
Minimal?
good. Probably whether you say have some of the old stuff that probably was.
Every time the wind picks up, don't we end up having to buy some new?
Okay.
I agree with you. I mean, if that's going to become an issue, yeah. Got some mitigators out there.
And potentially, you know, put up some trees there too.
That's the idea. That we
Yeah,
actually
if we get, because that area could use some rest of that.
We'll try to hide the building.
You do it right.
So the netting would be temporary until the trees subside.
Yeah.
Great discussion. Any further? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries. All right, subsidy drawdown request for Beresford women entrepreneurs.
Yes, you just have the one there from, well, that's the gals downtown that take care of all the flowers and all that kind of stuff, go around the water and then, plan on beautify the downtown area, and we've been helping them to the tune of about $1,500, so.
She said that all of the insides of the baskets have to be, replaced this year.
Oh.
If they've met their lifespan, and so that is their plans with the money.
So she's requesting $1,500. Okay, shall I make a motion subsidy drawdown request for Beresford women entrepreneurs doing a great job for $1,500.
Second?
Motion and a second are on the table. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Subsidy drawdown request is approved. Ward 3 City Council position discussion. Mr. Freeberg, is this an executive session settlement? We have two nominees, or is it?
If we want to discuss the qualifications, yeah, we could go to executive session.
So, will someone will make a motion to enter into executive
You
session?
finish out first, and then maybe if somebody wants to go.
Yeah,
that's
You
what
can
we
come
got.
back to that.
yeah,
Okay.
that makes perfect sense, so. Thanks, Jerry. We'll move into discussion and information items. New berm for archery range.
Jeff's here, and we've been talking to the guys out there at the archery range. I'm just gonna pass that around, and I'll just kind of put it on here, where we're at here, but this is kind of where the archery range is at, and they want to put a berm on the very far north side, Jeff. Correct me if I'm wrong when I was talking to Clint Ellis.
Yeah.
They're just, no, a lot of the guys are pretty good shots, but there's a few that don't hit the targets, and then the arrows end up out in the cornfield or the bean field, and And we gotta go out there and try to track them down. I guess it'd be a little bit cumbersome once this morning, it's to be 10 feet tall out there, so. We just want to burn it behind it, and Jeff's agreed to do that, to bring the dirt in and get it ready for them, so.
Dirt,
Like a
clay,
personal problem.
dirt and clay.
Yeah, just bring some clay and throw some dirt on it, and then grass seed.
How tall will it be?
Ellison, and then Sligan said about 8 feet, so it's not gonna be very
How
big.
big?
8 feet,
High?
yeah.
Does it have to go a little length with that, or are they only gonna have to go down a certain
I,
area?
we haven't been out there and looked at it, but I'm assuming it's not gonna be much further than your targets.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it's a pretty good distance across the whole way. Look at it, but the target's gonna take up maybe a half of that area.
And they've committed to staying in that area, because there was some discussion about potentially moving out to the northwest of
The
the
Saddle Club.
Club, right? I think because they've invested time and effort to commit to this, sounds like it's a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't know how much arrows cost these days, but I'm sure the carbon fiber and the.
Yeah. You said what those arrows cost, and it didn't sound like it was very cheap, so.
You're up to.
So this is a discussion item, we don't need a motion for this one.
No, I don't think so. Just move forward with it.
All right. Next line item is childcare. Well, and so I asked Jared to put this on the agenda. One of the things that I've come to an agreement and understanding is that childcare is a significant issue in the city of Beresford. One of our childcare providers is she's closing in lieu of a position, another position with benefits, and that's 12 children that currently go to that daycare, which will constrain the other few sites that we have in town. We have sites that provide childcare, but they've always been somewhat short of staff. They're always somewhat short of resources because they try to keep their costs at a very reasonable range. So what I would like to do is, and I've already spoken with Mr. Peterson about this and the Economic Development Corporation, is that I would like to have them help me co-sponsor a childcare task force to bring in members of the community that have some expertise in this space to come up with some short-term and long-term strategies. Short-term strategies are potentially resourcing the existing resources, giving them some additional resources so that they could potentially expand and stay within ratios. The long-term solution may involve a larger project with, a 50 to 100 child center, centrally located, that the city can be involved with, and or potentially some other groups within town. One example that I'll highlight is that Joe and Abby Sorensen are moving back to town from Omaha, and they are clearly in the crosshairs of not having adequate childcare, and both working professionals that need that. So I'm going to meet with Bedco in the middle of June, and in between now and then I would help find a few interested folks that have the level of expertise that I can bring to the table so that we could come up with some solutions. Any thoughts, any discussion?
I support the motion. Doing a good job. It's gonna take a little bit of work, but don't give up. You gotta make a couple plans and just keep being persistent.
I know my daughter-in-law does daycare and she gets calls constantly, and she's full.
Yeah, very full, and we know that, Rossi Davis, Olivia Johnson, they provide in-home care. Some of the churches have elected to move away from the programs that existed there. Probably need to examine what could be done to see if maybe they would consider hosting again. But there's a lot of these things that with several different irons in the fire, I'm not sure which ones are probably the most efficient. But I think, and because the Economic Development Corporation is beyond working into this, we have to be able to provide childcare before we can begin building very large-scale developments, new houses, young families. We want young families to move to town, but they have to know that we've got those sorts of pieces of the infrastructure in place in town so that they can feel comfortable. Some people, and my wife did highlight this to me, but some people will drive to Sioux Falls or Sioux City, have a childcare there. But they're also, it's fairly slim in bigger cities, so. Any other discussion? All right, health officer position, I need to talk about this. We'll nominate Suzanne Merrigan, and then I'm going to develop some documentation on what a public health council, purely voluntary, would look like to help support her so that the job doesn't become overwhelming. And again, some of the potential people that we would bring to this public health council would be those that have expertise in public health, disease surveillance. If COVID comes back or a similar pandemic, having a group that could get together to identify true recommendations so that we're not trying to follow the very fast-moving train that is something that would come from state or otherwise. So I'll produce some documentation and send it to the council for review. Approval of travel requests. So we have the Human Resource and Finance Officer School, and then we also have the TOC. Anyone like to make a motion to approve the travel request?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Motion to approve the travel request?
Second.
And second. Any further discussion? Motion carries. Both travel requests are approved. We're going to, someone will make a motion to enter into executive session. We'll go ahead and begin that portion of our meeting.
Make a motion to enter into executive session for discussion of the open seat Ward 3.
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. So we'll move into executive session at 20:06.